everyone, welcome back to our channel. It's Bella here. In today's tutorial I created this makeup look for you guys, so if you want to see how I achieved the look, then just go ahead and keep on watching. To be entered in this month's giveaway, make sure that you give this video a thumbs up, make sure that you are subscribed to our channel, make sure that you hit that bell button and turn your post notifications on so that you never miss a video, and if you are located in the United States, then comment "done" down below to be automatically entered. So to prime my eyes, I'm using my Too Faced Born This Way concealer, and I'm just applying it all over my eyelid, and then I always blend it with a damp beauty sponge, and then I set everything in place with translucent powder. The palette that I went in with is the Violet Voss Matte Vibes palette. I believe this is a newer eyeshadow palette. And this is what it looks like on the inside. It has all matte eyeshadows, obviously by the title, but I really love palettes like this because you can work with any pigments or glitters that you have at home and just pop those on the lid and you already have all of these crease shades. So the first shade that I went in with is Psych, which is a cool tone light brown matte eyeshadow, and I just put that shade in my crease with a big fluffy blending brush, and I just went in back and forth motions and circular motions, and you don't have to be too precise with this shade because it's just going to act as the background shade for the darker eyeshadows that we're going to go in with. Next I went in with the shade Hairspray. It's just a little bit of a darker cool tone matte brown, and I just used a defined angled brush and I started to map out where I want to add definition in my crease. Next I went back into the shade Psych and I grabbed that same first brush that we used to apply this to our crease, and I just went directly over that line, making sure that everything is nice and blended. And if you guys have been following me for a while, you know that I like to layer up my eyeshadows from lightest to darkest. So then next I go in with the shade Shoulder Pads, which is this matte black eyeshadow, and I pick that up with a defined angled brush once again. And I start to put that directly in the crease where we put the previous eyeshadow. And that's what I like about using a defined angled brush. Even though we're going to go ahead and blend it out, you can still see that depth in the crease, so it's really easy to layer it up and blend it out. And I go back and forth a few times between this first transition shade and that black eyeshadow just to really build up the crease as much as I want it. So as you guys can see, the black eyeshadow is smoked out, and even though it's blended, it's still really defined, and that's the look that I was going for. I really like my crease to be defined, and a lot of you guys will comment saying that it's not fully blended, and that's because I like there to be definition in the crease. Like, even though it's blended, there is still definition. And then going back into that matte black eyeshadow, I started to pack that on the inner and outer lid, starting to create the shape of my halo. And I did go back into that transition shade just to feather out the inner parts of that halo just to make sure that it's super blended. And then I went in with my Too Faced Born This Way concealer and I just cleaned up the very center part of my eyelid. And pretty much you would just do the same thing that you would do if you're going to cut the lid, but you only do it in the very center part and then blend it out once you get to the outer corners. And then I went in with this palette from Morphe. This is one of their highlight and contour palettes, and I grabbed the shade Big Bang. And it's not as pigmented as I wanted it to be, so I wouldn't necessarily recommend it, but it did do what I wanted it to do. I just wanted to add a little bit of a gold flecks to the center part of the lid before going in with glitter. And then I went in with my NYX glitter primer and my glitter from Eye Candy Cosmetics in Hocus Pocus. And I just packed that glitter on the very center part of my lid, and I really love how it turned out. And then I went on and put some mascara to my lashes, and then I went in with our Sofie lashes in the style Bahama. And I definitely recommend applying your mascara beforehand because I don't like to apply any mascara to my lashes. That way they last me a lot longer. Like, I can reuse a style up to 40 times because I take such good care of my lashes. And I'll always leave a link in the description box down below if you guys want to check out our company. And moving on to the lower lash line, I grabbed that first transition shade and I started to buff that from inner to outer corner. And even though we're going to create a halo effect, I still like to apply that background shade just so that when I go in with the deeper eyeshadows, they blend a little bit easier. And next I went in with the shade Shoulder Pads. And with a defined angled brush, I went really close to the lash line and I put that on the inner and outer corner of the lower lash line. And then going in with the shade Hairspray, I used this to feather out that black eyeshadow on the lower lash line. So as you guys can see, I'm just blending it out, going in back and forth motions. And then going back into the NYX Glitter Primer and the Hocus Pocus from Eye Candy Cosmetics, I go in with the NYX Glitter Primer first and I let it get tacky for about 3 seconds. And then I go directly over top with that glitter and I pretty much put it in that gap that we created with the eyeshadows. And the last thing that I did was I applied some lower lash mascara. And this is the finished look, guys. I really hope you enjoyed watching. If you did, please make sure to give this video a big thumbs up. Thank you guys so much for all of your love and support, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!